Okay, hello everyone. This is going to be video number 10 of your Endless Runner course, and we're going to continue where we left off. We're going to kind of pick up and increase our character's speed a little bit. So what you want to do is open up, first of all, your character. And also we're going to set up a couple things here in our character real quick, kind of right in here where your begin play is. So we're going to kind of drag this here down a little bit, and what we'll do is we're going to create a couple of variables in here to kind of handle our character speed. So we'll go ahead and add a variable called character speed, and that should be a float, and we'll just duplicate this and we'll name this one, say character max speed. Okay, so let's go ahead and compile the blueprint, and we're going to give the character speed a default value of 600. So what this is 600. It means that this is the default speed that our character normally goes from our character movement here. So we're going to kind of set up a little process here with our max speed, because we're going to use that when we increase our speed as we progress through the level. So we're going to take our character speed here, and we're going to get that on begin play, and then we're going to set our character's max speed here. So we'll choose that one and set. Zoom in here a little bit, plug it in between where we add our HUD. We're just going to simply multiply. So we're just going to multiply by a float, and we're just going to drag this down here. We're going to take whatever our character speed is, and we're going to say we're going to multiply that by 4. So whatever our character speed is times 4 will give us our character's maximum allowable speed. Okay, and now one of the things that we're going to need to do is, once we do that, we're going to need to create a function that is going to handle this. But one thing we need to do, let's see here, let's compile that, is go into our game mode, and in our game mode, let's see, in our game mode we're going to be creating a variable. So right here with our player score, we're just going to create a new variable here called completed tiles. So completed tiles, and we're going to call this an integer, and we'll just compile that. Okay, so we really don't need to do anything with it inside here, but what we're going to do is in our, let's see, our actors, in our master tile. So if we go into our master tile, we're going to actually create, let's see, we can kind of get rid of these functions here, clean this up just a little bit. Okay, all right, so kind of right in here where we are doing our end trigger. So what we want to do is in between our add floor tile here, I'm just going to drag this over. We're going to, from our endless runner game mode, which we're already casting to, we're going to get completed tiles. So we'll first of all get this variable, and then we're just going to do a plus. So we're going to say integer plus integer. So we're just going to add 1 to that, and then we're going to set completed tile. And we can go ahead and plug this in and plug this in. So really all we're really doing is just kind of, and then of course plug that in. We won't get any sets. So we'll set this up so we'll see how many we have completed so far, and then we will update those to the new value. Okay? And then what we'll need to do is we'll leave this open for a minute. Let's just move this down slightly. And in our runner base, we're going to create a function that we spoke about just a minute ago. And so let's create a function over here. And we'll call this update character speed. Okay, so update character speed, we're just going to, first of all, get game mode. So we'll get our game mode, then we will cast to our endless runner game mode. We're going to right click on this, convert it to a pure cast, make it a little easier. And then we're going to say get completed tiles. So we get our completed tiles, and then we're going to do a branch check right here. And we're going to say, is this greater than or equal to? So is this greater than or equal to, and initially we'll say 5. So every 5 tiles, we're going to make this condition true. Okay, so if this is true, then we're going to set completed tiles. And do a little reroute, double click this line, kind of bring this down. Double click it again, just so I can clean my lines up so you can see. We'll set this back to 0. Each time we complete 5, we'll set this back to 0. Okay, and so what we're going to do is right up here above this. So once we do that, we're going to take our character speed. You want to verify that it has a default of 600, so we'll get that. And then we're going to multiply that. So we're going to multiply float by float. And we're going to say 1.05. So we'll say 1.05. And then we'll clamp this value. Clamp our float. Minimum 0 is fine. And we'll take our character's max speed. And we'll plug it in here. And then once we do that, this will clamp it off so it can't go above this. And then we're going to set our character speed to its new value. Plug this clamp in here. And then to actually create our character to actually run faster, we're going to take our character movement, which actually controls the speed. So we're going to say set max walk speed. So we're going to set max walk speed here to that value there. So this will update our max walk speed to whatever our new character speed value is. Okay, once we do that, we can say return, but let's do one little thing in between. Let's do a print string here, and let's just plug that in. So when this works, we'll see what our new walk speed is. Okay, so that's pretty much all we need to do for this function. So we'll compile that. And then back over in our master tile. So from right here where we add our floor tile, we're going to go back to our runner base here. And we're going to say update character speed here. So we'll drag this down, plug this in between. Add a reroute. Another reroute. Now you can see where that line goes. Okay. If you didn't be able to get that, make sure that you have compiled this, otherwise you won't be able to see it. And that should pretty much be what we need to do. So that'll take care of updating our character speed. So let's test that right quick. And we should, after we pass 5 tiles, we should see a number pop up there. So let's see what we get. And we'll know that our character speed is increasing. So once we get through 5, we should see a number pop up there. And 630, that's good. So we are already increasing. After we pass about 5 more, we should actually... Okay, now we're at 661.5, so our character is actually moving a little faster. We can't really tell it as of yet. That's not, so now we're at almost 700, so you can kind of see the course is going slightly faster. Collecting more coins, now we're at 700. We get up to about 1200, we'll notice a bigger difference, I think. So as you can see, as our speed gets a little faster, we'll notice that the course will go by faster. So we'll watch this for a minute or so. So now we're at 844. We don't want this to go too fast on us. As you can see now, we're a little faster, so a little more challenging. So we are now up to 977. So this course not too difficult. We don't have a lot of obstacles on here yet that's messing with anything. So we'll see as we go. Now we're at 1100, so you can notice that we are actually moving a little faster. Some more obstacles. So yeah, this is a little better. So now we're increasing a little faster. So we're at 1300 now, and we're moving pretty good. Find an obstacle that we can hit here, and there we go. We got a ragdoll. Okay, so that takes care of that. So let's add a little something to our character. So that works really well. So I'm pleased with that. We're going to do one more little quick thing in our ragdoll death. So right here we have ragdoll death, and so we're disabling movement and things like that, but our character just kind of flows straight on through. So what we need to do is we need to add an additional camera boom and camera so we can use our ragdoll camera. So let's go here and say we're going to add a spring arm, and we'll call this ragdoll camera arm, and we'll add a camera. So we'll add a camera to this, and we'll just call this ragdoll camera. Okay, and for this, you'll notice it's kind of right here. We want to we'll play around with this a little bit. We actually want it probably to be rotated along the y-axis. Let's see, -90 maybe. Yeah, that'll put it up there, and let's give it a location height of, say, about 100, maybe 150. Okay, and that looks pretty good. And one of the things we need to do is make sure we turn this do collision test off, and I believe we should take these off as well. We'll check that and see. Okay, we may have to keep those, but we'll test it out here to see. Okay, so what we want to do is once we get a ragdoll death, we're disabling movement. We also want to take our follow camera, and we're going to say, let's see. Let me find it. Okay, set active. Maybe that's it. Set active. Yes. Okay. So we want to turn this one off actually. And for our ragdoll camera, we'll want to do this. We'll just Control W. Plug this in here, plug this in here, and this in here. We'll leave this one unchecked so that it deactivates this particular camera, and we'll say this is the new active camera. Okay. So now, once we hit our ragdoll death, we should switch this camera, and it should be attached to our mesh here, so that I actually will follow that. So let's try it out and see what happens. So we're just going to go, and since we got a nice big rock there, we're just going to run straight into this thing and see what happens. Okay, so sure enough, there we go. We've got our ragdoll camera, and it follows our character pretty well. Okay, so that's kind of what we'd like. That's kind of what we were looking for. Let's see if we take this here and let's try this and see what happens. Look at a couple of these little settings here and see what we get here. Hopefully we'll get an obstacle pretty quickly. We don't have to play our level too long to test this out. Only disadvantage to this, well, let's see. We do have an actual test, don't we? We have a test button, R, so let's try that. So we run through here, R, so there we go. Let the best try it again. So we're going to through here, and camera jumps around a little bit. Maybe we don't want that. Let's see. Let's put our target arm length up to about 450. And let's see, we are doing let's try that. We may get some really weird reactions. Okay, we're getting a little bit of shake there, which is not ideal, so take this off. Not exactly perfect, but let's see if we take this and we just kind of put it here, and let's see how that works. We may end up sticking right here. Yeah, that's what we don't want. So we kind of have to keep it to the mesh here. But that's pretty much kind of what we're looking for here as we go. And let's just inherit all those. See what we get now. Yeah, we definitely don't want that. So we don't want all these. We'll use this one and see. We may just leave it at this. This is not too bad. So we just get a little bit of shake to start with, and then we kind of go from here. So that'll kind of take care of this portion right here. So that's working. Gives a little ragdoll death and camera that shows our character. So we're going to end our video here for now, and we'll pick back up, add a few more things to our spawning and setup, and maybe get us the ability to jump a few more pickups, and we'll just about be finished up with this project. So thank you for watching it, and hopefully this works good for you.